Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Pancakes, and today I have a different kind of video for y'all. I'm not going to be talking about a certain topic of like fandom or game or thing, but instead I'm going to be showing y'all some of my collections I have. Now, I'm no avid collector. I don't go out to stores simply to find things to collect. But if I do find something that I do not have, that I have other things for, I will buy it if I can. So I'm not an active collector, but if I can, I will. I have two collections to show y'all today. They're both book collections because I do frequently collect books because I read. Shocker. But so let's get started into our collections. So the first collection I have is I actually have all three of the FGTV books. I have the first two in paperback because, I found them in paperback because they're much older. But then I have the third one hardcover, which they're pretty rare because, they don't make very many hardcovers of these. So I have this one in a hardcover, so I have all three of them, complete collection. There's probably going to be another one, maybe, who knows, but for now I have the complete collection, and I'm happy with that. So, moving on from the smaller collection, I know that was a bit fast, but that was a smaller collection. I have a much bigger collection over here with 20 items in it, so let's waste no time, let's jump right into it. So, this is actually my FNAF book collection, and to start it off, I have the Fourth Closet graphic novel. It's actually the only graphic novel of the entire series. I have all the original trilogy of books and the Fazbear Fright graphic novels. This is the only one I have, but I really like it. Springtrap looks really creepy on the cover, and I really like that. Next, I have the entire original trilogy of books. Silver Eyes, the Twisted Ones, and the Fourth Closet. I really like them. I read through them all three of them. They're all really cool. They're all really good books. If you are looking to find a good read, a good book to read, maybe in like an afternoon, or maybe, dedicate some time to it, I definitely suggest checking those out. They're really good. Now for the bulk of the collection, Fazbear Frights. Fazbear Frights was an 11 to 12 book series, depending how you slice it, of 3 short stories in each book that Scott Cawthon himself wrote that cover different areas of the FNAF timeline. And I'm really just going to be going over all of them, when I got them, how I got them, why I got them. So let's begin. The first one I have here is Into the Pit, the very first Fazbear Frights book. It is actually very bent up, damaged. You see it's missing something here, It's all torn up at the top right here. I read this a ton because it used to be my only one I had. So I just read this over and over and over again, and I can basically summarize each and every story near perfect detail. And that's really cool. Into the Pit, pretty good book. I would not say it was the peak of Fazbear Frights, but I would say it was amazing in the Fazbear Frights series. I got that one, I think I bought it myself, not 100% sure on that, but next up we have Fazbear Frights number 2, Fetch. Now, Fetch is actually really cool. I really like it. The cover design is stronger than Into the Pit, I would say, because, Fetch being on the cover is a lot creepier than Spring Bonnie in a Ball Pit, I would say. But Fetch is really cool. I think I got this one and 1:35 a.m. as birthday gifts. But yeah, this one's not as damaged because I don't often read Fetch. I'll only take out one of these at a time and read them. So most of them aren't as damaged as Into the Pit is. Because, once I got these two, then I never had to read them over and over again. Next is 1:35 a.m. And I honestly believe that this is the strongest of all the covers in Fazbear Frights. Like, just look at this cover and tell me this does not freak you out. Like, it's this eyeless doll that's just, like, so creepy looking. Dolls in general are pretty creepy. But then the time to wake up in the eye, it's crazy. It's creepy. I love it. Strongest design for the cover. Pretty good stories. I like them. Can't wait for them to be adapted into graphic novels, I would say. Also got that one as a birthday gift. Next we have Step Closer, and Step Closer, really cool cover design, I'd say. Whoever made these cover designs, awesome. Props to you. They look amazing. Step Closer is really cool. I really like the cover story, Step Closer itself, but I also like the other two stories in it. So yeah, Step Closer, pretty good book. I would suggest it. Now time for my least favorite thing I have in this entire collection of all the books I've showed and will show, Bunny Call. Bunny Call is my least favorite Fazbear Frights book, my least favorite FNAF book I have, and my least favorite book I have in general. I mean, like, all three stories are, like, I mean, I guess The Man in Room 1280 was okay, but, like, the other two, Bunny Call and the other one, Bunny Call and In the Flesh, they were not very good stories at all. Bunny Call was way too convoluted, and it was too confusing. I never even understood what was wrong with Ralpho Rabbit. I don't know. And In the Flesh is just by far the entire worst Fazbear Fright story I have ever read. Read it for yourself if you don't believe me. It is awful. I will say that right now. It's the only bad story, but it is by far the worst. I still keep it. The cover art looks cool, though. The cover art looks cool. I'll give it that. Cover art looks amazing. Now on to Blackbird. Blackbird is actually really cool. I like the cover design also. That's going to be a theme for all these. Cover design is really creepy with those two little eyeballs there and the beak. It's massive. The stories are decent. Yeah, they're pretty okay. I mean, they're nothing to write home about, but they're not as awful as Bunny Call was. The Bunny Call stories were. So yeah, Blackbird was pretty cool. I think I bought Step Closer, Bunny Call, Blackbird, and I think the rest of them all by myself. So that's gonna be the origins for those. Next, The Cliffs. So funny story about The Cliffs. So I had only had Into the Pit, Fetch, and 1:35 a.m. I'd only read those three books, and I went to my school library, and I found out that they had Fazbear Fright stories. But they only had 7, 8, and 9. So Cliffs, Gumdrop Angel, and Puppet Carver. So I got The Cliffs, and I read it out of order. I didn't read the epilogue story, but, you know, I read it out of order, and it was pretty cool, I guess. The Cliffs was a good story, and the other two were decent. Now moving on to my favorite story in all of Fazbear Frights for some reason, Gumdrop Angel. People say that around Blackbird was the decline of the stories in Fazbear Frights. But honestly, Gumdrop Angel is just, it's such a gem, honestly. It's underrated. Gumdrop Angel was cool. Sergio's Lucky Day was nice. And What We Found, that was honestly a really cool story. Gumdrop Angel in general is just a really good book. Freaky cover art, though. I will admit, this is freaky. If this happened to me, I'd be terrified as well. Next up, we have The Puppet Carver. Puppet Carver, I got at Target, actually. Out of order, I think. I had gotten Friendly Face before this. But Puppet Carver, pretty neat, pretty awesome cover art, I'd say. Cover art's really creepy. It reminds me of Night of the Living Dummy. Goosebumps, if y'all remember that. It's pretty cool looking, I'd like to say. And the Puppet Carver story itself, it's nice. It's nice. I like the pauses, and I like the fact that it doesn't tell you what happened, but you know, you can figure it out yourself. Second to last for the Fazbear Fright series is Friendly Face. This is, I said that 1:35 a.m. was the best looking, but this is the scariest of all the cover art. I mean, just look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's a human face on a robotic cat. You can't not be scared of this thing. Friendly Face itself was an okay story. Sea Bonnies I actually really liked because the protagonist isn't an idiot. Together Forever, I like the fact that it hints towards there being more than just Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. It's Springlock suits. Pretty neat. I give it a 7 out of 10 if I had to rate it. And moving on to the final Fazbear Frights book I have, Prankster, number 11, the actually last legitimate book. There was one more, but I don't want to spend nearly $100 on a box set just to get one special book. Prankster was honestly a really good story. Prankster itself was good. And Kids at Play, it was weird. Find Player 2, I actually really liked it. And I think it has the largest time jump in book that there is in all of these books. I really liked it. So that was nice. Prankster was nice. That's all my Fazbear Frights books, but I still have 5 more books to show off. And that is the Tales from the Pizzaplex series. I pretty recently got Submechanophobia and Bobby Dot's Conclusion. So I have all 5 of them right now. And starting off with Lally's game, I would say that, generally speaking, the Tales from the Pizzaplex series has stronger covers than their counterparts from Fazbear Frights. But Lally's game is the only exception. I mean, this is kind of boring compared to Spring Bonnie, but it's still pretty good. The stories are good. The only thing I don't like about it is that it has 3 bad endings, I think. Yeah, like 3 bad endings. That's boring. I don't like that. I like good endings in my stories. Next up is Haps. Oh my goodness, the cover story Haps is amazing. Help Wanted, amazing. B7, amazing. All 3 stories in this book are top-notch, 10 out of 10. And this looks a lot cooler than Fetch does. And I was praising Fetch earlier for its cover art. Haps looks 10 times cooler than Fetch. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Also 3 bad endings. Somnophobia, I actually really like this. It's like one of the only times that in Fazbear Fright history, where, in FNAF book history in general, where the main character, or the main antagonist, actually is shown, like, normally, like it's supposed to in the story. Everything else has slight differences, but, yeah, Somnophobia, really cool. I like it. Also 3 bad endings, and I hate that. Next up, Submechanophobia. Submechanophobia is actually really cool. I really like it, and I actually had to do a lot of Googling on what Submechanophobia meant. It's evidently the fear of robots while underwater. It kind of makes sense when you think about it. I am a heavy critic at times, and I will say that the cover art does not match the description in the book. The mermaid is described in the book to have red hair, and this is clearly yellow. But that's just me being a dumb critic. I also like the first part of Bobby Dots. Speaking of Bobby Dots, we have Bobby Dots Conclusion. And I actually really like this, because not only is the conclusion of Bobby Dots really cool. I haven't read the other 2 stories, but the Bobby Dots Conclusion has a good ending, believe it or not. But this is actually one of the only other times, other than Somnophobia, where the main antagonist was shown how they're described in the book. And it's the back here. You see, we have these little things right here. They are perfectly described in the book as they look there. And that's really cool. So that was all 20 of my FNAF books, plus my 3 FGTV books. Those are my collections. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. This video was longer than normal, but I had a lot to go over, and I actually really enjoyed talking about it. This was completely unscripted. I literally just went off of based what I was thinking. So, I hope you enjoy. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.